Hi there.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, hey, what can I tell you?
Oh man. Just tell me, are you guys all right?
Thankfully, so far we are okay. Where we currently are here in Jerusalem.
Yeah,
It's me, my wife, and my two kids. One is 2 years old, the other who's 3 months old.
yeah,
Um, and so, what's been going on right now is obviously very crazy, and it's such a massacre. And
yeah.
when those sirens go on, you literally don't have time to think. All you can do is do. So it's literally picking up the kids and heading down to the bomb shelter and waiting for 10 minutes to make sure another one doesn't go off.
That is,
So yeah, it's literally being in a war zone right now.
oh my word. So tell me, obviously, and I feel like it's probably a bit of a silly question, but it's always been sort of tense, in Israel. I mean, when you guys decided, well, we're going to leave South Africa, we're going to go over there to work. Did you consider that things might escalate above what was advertised, well, not advertised, but what was visible already?
Of course, of course. Look, no country is perfect, that's for sure.
Oh yeah,
But I'll tell you my story. When I came to Israel the first time, I actually went to go learn some, Judaic studies in what we call a yeshiva,
yeah,
where I went there from 2015 to 2018. But the more I came back in and out of South Africa, I kept feeling like every time I came back to Israel, I felt more of like my home, where I was like more with like people that also came from similar backgrounds as me.
yeah.
Like I met, you know, people from all over the States. I met people from the UK, Australia, South Africans even, who
Mm.
I never met before, who also came. And there's just so many connections that I made. And every time I came back to South Africa, it was just like everything's going down with the crime, the corruption, and the electricity cuts. It's like I couldn't take it anymore, and I kept feeling more and more depressed. And of course, coming to Israel is also no easy feat. You have terrorists constantly trying to like kill someone, especially if you're a Jew.
Yeah.
Um, you know, and you know, for the longest time though, um, when I made aliyah, is what we call, the immigration to
Yeah.
Israel. Um, I've always felt a lot more safe here than I did in South Africa, and I still do to this day. But of course, no one, not even Israelis, could have seen this coming with what has happened the past couple of days here. Not since the Yom Kippur War. Have you ever heard about the Yom Kippur War?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Well, because I was obviously looking at a lot of footage online, and just every time anything happens in Israel, I'm trying to understand it, and I always think I understand it, and then I realize no, I don't have a clue what's going on. And all I know is it's about for the last between 80 and 100 years they've been fighting, but yeah, for me, the purpose of the interview was to check on our own people, because the whole world is focused on Israel and the countries around them and their people, but they don't really consider or even give thought to people from other countries that's actually expats there that needs to work. They've got day-to-day stuff. They've given up a
right.
life elsewhere to pursue a dream in a different country, and a hard one at that. And the thing that you say that you still feel safer in Israel than in South Africa, you're not the first one saying that. I literally came off another interview now where the lady said exactly the same thing, and I'm blown away.
Wow, really?
I was not expecting that. I wasn't.
Look, you know, I'm when it comes to being in Israel, you're seeing kids everywhere, in the parks, walking on the streets. It
Mm,
is I've never felt so safe in a place like that. In South Africa, you would literally have to constantly be holding your kid's hand, even if you were in the park or even if you were, in a supermarket. In Israel, people are very more like, let them be free, let them run around, let them have fun.
Yeah.
Nothing is gonna happen.
I feel
I'll
that.
say
I feel that way.
especially in a place like Jerusalem where hardly has ever been a target.
Yeah.
Jerusalem is hardly a target. Um, so this is why this whole thing has been so surprising lately because um, uh, it's this is also the first time for me, you should know, where I've been part of this scare where we've had testing of sirens before,
Yeah.
and also I've heard sirens when it's Holocaust Memorial Day. But I've never been part of the scenario where it was real danger. So of course my heart was pounding like crazy.
I can
You
just
know,
imagine.
like we started I'm sure you've heard, we have this holiday called the Shmini Atzeret or Simchat Torah, which is the completion of finishing all the chapters of the Bible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and this was the time where Hamas decided they were going to come in with their surprise attacks.
I saw that on
And
the news video that that I've watched today because I found a really good detailed video that covered everything from the start to, well, not that it's finished or will be soon. Yeah, and I understand they picked a day that was technically a holy day to do these attacks.
yes, I picked a holiday to do this attacks, and no, no one thought this was going to escalate like wildly as it has since the Yom Kippur War. People are talking how this is even worse than the Yom Kippur War, and the media, I'm gonna jump into the media now.
Sure.
For all the longest time, they've been ignoring whatever happens to Israelis.
Mm.
On the media, it's showing how Israelis are trying to attack the enemy, but in actual fact, Israel is trying to just defend itself. You know, it's not for the purpose of wanting to kill the other side. It's we're trying to only eliminate the ones who are killing us, trying to kill us. Our aim is not to kill any innocent people from the other side. Like, our the aim has been like trying to annihilate the enemy so they would stop hurting the people of Israel.
Tell me, what is your insights for the future? I mean, you're obviously over there, you're working. How has that
Yeah.
changed in the last 24 hours?
So we've all so what I do, is a regular 9 to 5. So
Hmm.
thankfully we have the privilege and the flexibility to work from home and
Right.
stay safe. And the company actually reached out, making sure we were all okay and saying that, like if you feel like you want to work out the comfort of please go ahead by all means. In fact, it was recommended we do so. So
Hmm.
that's what I've been doing all these past 72 hours um since this whole thing began.
Yeah.
And it's like everyone else also, unless you're an essential where you work in a supermarket or you're a doctor.
Hmm.
So of course, you constantly have to be at your office doing your job. So of course though, you if you want to work, you can, but as long as there's a bomb shelter nearby, then you have the right to be at the office. But
Yeah.
you need either a safe room, as we say in Hebrew, it's called a mamad, or the bomb shelter, which is the miklat.
Okay.
So those are your two options when the sirens go off. Right now, there's been talk about possible what you call it a possible lockdown where actually I don't want to go into detail because you never
Yeah,
know
no, no,
who the other
that's
side.
not. Let's. Yeah, no. So, like I
Actually,
said,
not going to go into that.
the purpose of the
Yeah.
interview is to see how you, as a South
As a
African.
South African, yeah. So
Yeah.
as a South African, I will say this. I've been in South Africa. I've heard of friends who have been held at gunpoint. I've had, friends who've been carjacked. You name it. Um, what as a, and of course, in Israel, you don't really hear all of that every day. But the fact that I have friends not just South Africans, but who are like from all different parts of the world, who are also Olim Khadashim, which are, immigrants, um, from other countries who are English speakers and got called in to go serve in the army as a reserve
Yeah.
while this war is going on. It's frightening. It is very frightening for me to see, like the crimes in South Africa, of course they're vicious, but this war, in my eyes, not just as a South African, but the whole world has been so monstrous, absolutely monstrous. It's the massacre from hell. It is this. It's we're now living in a country where it's been invaded by, I'm dare gonna say it, wild animals who have come in to take elderly people, little babies, spouses, and hold them as hostages
Mm.
because they think they're trying to prove a point. I think what taking an elderly person or a little tiny innocent baby is gonna prove the point that that you guys are better than Israelis. Like, where do you get off, right? Where do you get off? Like,
Mm.
who in the world and which God would say that is okay? What God would say that is okay? Right.
Right.
Definitely not. Like I'm sure if you ask any other South African, you compare what the crimes are in South Africa compared to what has happened here, right? Now, I will say this, like when it comes to like this type of war,
Mm.
this has now only happened, since the first time since Yom Kippur. You do hear of the occasional missiles and rockets that have been shot through, but that's like also part of like the more southern sides of Israel, like in Ashkelon, Ashdod areas, where it's like near Gaza. But for me, when you're in a place like Jerusalem, you barely feel it. You barely feel it. And that's what's made me feel so free is that I still feel safe because I'm in the part of Jerusalem,
That's amazing.
where
I think that is incredible. The fact that there's literally a war raging behind, around you, and you still feel safe. And for a country to get that right, that's a major achievement. And the fact that you still choose that above South Africa, that just speaks volumes. And I'll leave that out there for because obviously I'm pretty sure the comment section is going to be raided. And tell me, how is the kids? Tell me, how's your children? Are they doing all right?
thankfully my kids are doing really well. There's of course they're still far too young to understand what's going on. So like I said, my oldest one is just turned 2 years old, and the youngest one he just turned 3 months old. Um, and we're just trying our best. I'll tell you, as a South African, I know South Africans are we're very sensitive people,
Hmm.
and I would also say we're super family oriented people. And when you're comparing that to Israelis, Israelis are also very family oriented people.
Yeah.
And I'll say on my behalf, my biggest fear right now is not being hit by a missile. My biggest fear is that these bastards could just bash this door down and take my kids away.
Oh,
I could not live with myself if that had to happen at
uh,
all.
I hear you. I hear you. I've got kids of mine, and yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow. But we what we've seen online and what the news are portrayed obviously is nothing in comparison with what you guys are experiencing, but it's enough to make us bleed inside. And we'll keep praying for you and make sure that and that we keep you in our thoughts the whole time. And I hope it's over as soon as it started. Although the news is portraying something different, but and in the long run, we all want peace.
Yes, absolutely. That's all we ever want is peace and to live in a world where there's no disruption, there's no hardships between anyone, you
Yeah.
know. Israel, in my opinion, is a symbol of peace, you know. We're not trying to harm anyone, Israel's this tiny little place, and we're having neighboring is certain neighboring countries that are trying to destroy it. I mean, we can only do so much to try and protect it,
That's true.
and yet the media, in my opinion, has decided like, like we're the bad guy, but until all these videos that are coming out, I feel like somehow the world is only slowly starting to wake up now from it and starting to see our viewpoints.
I understand.
Like there's certain headlines though that do get to me. Like if let's say, you know, Israel defending itself and someone and a terrorist got hit, they're gonna say the headlines, two Palestinian males got shot. But if it's like um three Israeli boys, what does the headline say? Five boys shot. They don't
Mm,
mention that it's Israeli boys. Like
yeah.
they just really sounds like they're trying to literally white out the name of Israel.
Mm,
Like they trying to like say that, oh, we're not an existing nation, which I think is disgusting.
it is. I'm with you on that one. And yeah, like I said, you're not alone. I've seen news portrayed the other way around, especially with the events from the last 72 hours. The world's eyes are definitely more open than it was a couple of weeks ago when it was just missiles being shot at Israel. This time around, there's literally people being shot in the street. So I think the point of view has shifted. All right. Well, mate, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. You're South African through and through. You just keep going. And would you still recommend Israel as a country worth working in as a South African expat, despite all the conflict that's going on?
100%. My, I'll tell you, a couple family members have been saying to me, like, can you guys not like get a ticket to South Africa to try to escape this? I said to them, I will not leave this country for anything, not even this big war that's going on. I was like, I may be an ex South African, and I love the people who are still there dearly, like family and other friends.
Mm.
But I have a family here now. I've built a family here. I've made friends here, and this is where I'm happy. No matter what the circumstances are, I will not dare leave this country for anything.
I love your positivity, mate. Well, stay safe. Thank you for your time. And yes, if there's anything else, reach out to me on Facebook, on social media. We have a big network of people. A lot of these people are professionals. They are good people to talk to because they work in that field. If you feel like you guys want to talk to someone, please reach out to me and I'll put you in contact with people that can listen and give advice and those sorts of things. All right.
Thank you so much, Stephen. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate your good wishes and thoughts. Please continue to pray for the safety of Israel and for the safety of the Israeli hostages and our soldiers to come back home safely.
Amen. No problem, mate. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Cheers, and to you.